specifically, except for this. And I just wrapped up a new course specifically for this stream. I thought it would be helpful. Also, I have a new advanced pop filter on my mic. It's a sock. But yeah, if you want, you can go check that out. All of the questions that I'm going to be asking and giving you answers to are in that course. Me and HR Lady made that. HR Lady has a few videos in there too, so it's pretty dope. But I hope you guys are doing well. If you want to call, that's the number there. Let me, what up, Rizza? How's it going? Let me pull up. I got 125 questions in here. Josh, have you had any contact from your family? Nah. Nope. It's kind of a weird day, you know. It's funny, like 1 year ago today was the last time I saw my mom. My mom and my dad were at my house. We were grilling. Then she left, and that was the last time I ever saw her. I was having like a rose-tinted glasses today, dude. Like, you know, no family to grill with. It's weird. Anyways, how come you're doing night streams now? I'm not doing night streams now. I'm just, I've been working offline on that. I just finished it. I wanted to finish it for the course. What site do you recommend I go to if I want an artist to create a company logo for me? Oh, you should try to make it yourself. I mean, just try. I mean, maybe Fiverr. I don't know. You can make a free... No, probably just Fiverr. Maybe a free post. On Indeed. Could work. But yeah, so the line is open if you want to call. But if no one wants to call, that's fine too. We can just chill. How to show people skills in your interviews? Most of that comes through body language. Eye contact, mirroring. That's a big one. So if the interview person leans back, like crosses her arms, you know, you can lean back and relax a little bit. Common questions in a web developer job interview. That's like specific to the stack. There's no real common, like maybe like HTML and CSS, right? But other than that, it's specific to the company and the project and the stack. How to know which of your company courses is right for me? I only have one. The entrepreneur course shows you how to open a company. What up, Discovering Mars? You're welcome to call if you'd like. We can have a chat. I mean, do I want an S Corp or an LLC? If you're making 30,000 or more, you want an S Corp, but you got to have accountants for that. I mean, you don't have to, but it'd be silly to not. But you at least need an LLC. Thought they were different. An S Corp is different, but you need to make it worth it because you're going to be putting yourself on payroll, which means you're going to be paying payroll tax, which costs money more than it would if you had an LLC. There's no payroll tax with an LLC. What up, Simo? Or maybe I can just ask the chat, and I'll see what chat says. Ooh, this is a good one for a lot of people. Why are you changing careers? That's a good one. How to ace a code test video would be fire, man. Every code test is different. There's no how to ace a code test one video for every code test in existence. That's silly. You can't realistically think that's possible. Dude, can you let your girlfriend work out without pointing the camera at her? Tony, what's up, dude? Welcome back. Josh, it's the 4th of July. I don't understand. If I want to learn how to code, how much chocolate should I put into my s'more? Holy crap. What up, Corey? I saw your video today. Pretty dope. Why is that so loud? All of the chocolate, by the way.
To accept, press.
What's up? How can I help? Are you ready for this? Oh, you... Nice. So we tried to rickroll. That's cool. Okay, so... let's block that number. I don't get it. Like, I'm trying to help the chat out, and I just get trolled. I don't... whatever. Corey, how do I buy an airplane? Like, I want to build an airplane like you did, but I don't have anywhere to build it. I don't have a hangar. I don't have the tools. But I don't want to pay $10,000 a year for an annual. Thoughts on HR major and how to land a job? So actual HR lady, she has a degree in mass communications. She had like regular HR jobs before she became a consultant. How to land a job? I guess it depends. You could do payroll. You could do generalist. That's what most HR, when we speak of HR, we're talking about HR generalists. What would be a good starting salary for an entry-level dev in Southern California? You'd have to be at least 100K, if not super close to it, like 80, 85. There's a lot of different specialties, though. Will you be pulled over if you fly without insurance? Actually, you don't even need... it's totally illegal to fly without insurance. You don't have to insure your plane. Programmer generalist? Yeah, that's what you all should title yourselves. That's what you all are. You can learn what you need. Let's go flying sometime in chat. Okay, that's fine. I just don't want to spend tons and tons and tons of money on an airplane every year. I was looking at some Pipers, but like I can't do backcountry flying like you. I don't like. That's the dream, right? I don't want to. It's cool to go from airport to airport. It'd be cool to have some passengers, so that's where I'm torn. So I was looking at some Pipers or something. I don't know. I gotta buy it before the end of the year if I buy it, though. Because otherwise I'm gonna pay a bunch of tax. Retro Wolf said I rickrolled because I wanted to add some fun to the stream. The thing with the rickroll is that you're gonna demonetize the stream for copyright music. That's the thing. That's like... that I'm like, you know? It's so silly that it has to be that way. Like, even 2 seconds... Face any criticism from Indian companies after your recent videos? Yeah, this one CTO messaged me. He emailed me for the company. He's like, we were shocked, and it put us in a bad light. And he went over like his code test. He's like, this is the code test that was actually, this was the code test, and this is what I wanted you to solve. And he's like, as you can see, 30,000 rupees a month is actually really good. And you can look at our job postings. We actually pay 1.5 million rupees to developers that are just starting. So if you're an intern, take a hike, you only get 30,000 rupees, 360K a year. And if you're a developer full-time, you get 1.5 million. Get any airplane, there's lots of fun to be had. Okay, so then if I, like, what do I get? Like a VFR, do I just get VFR only? I know I need the ADSB at least. I guess I could sell it later. The annual is kind of like, you know. $10K is not bad for the annual. Yeah, I guess. It's just, gotta store it. Did my dad, was he really sick, or was it just another sympathy story? I didn't see him when he was sick. He sent me a picture of him in the hospital, though, with like a ventilator and stuff on. Can I lie on my resume when it comes to experience? Well, how do you do that? You just put that you worked at a place that doesn't exist? Don't do that. You could put that you have the skills that you think you can do the job with. Like, in my opinion, apply to the job if you think that you can do it or learn to do it. I don't really care what the requirements say. I don't care what the job's asking for. If I think that I can do what I'm reading on this job application, or if I think that I can learn to do it reasonably fast.
Call from.
What's up, dude? Can you mute me in the background? Oh, well. Okay. Maybe we'll change the title of this. We'll change the title of this to be like career questions with Josh or something. I don't know. People just want to troll. This is what happens when you post videos at night. Like, all the trolls come out. $1 million and 3K rupees is like 2 to 3 days of lunch money. And 30K INR is pretty good. Or, yeah, it's pretty bad, yeah.
Call from.
What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Like your stream?
Thanks, man. You ready for the question?
Sure.
Okay, this is a behavioral question. Describe a time when your boss was wrong. How did you handle that question?
Well, that's a good one. So, I was working with a client that wanted to set up a website. We were working on a React project, and we had talked about how we wanted to store the data, and we were going to use Redux, and they wanted to use internal props. And we were at a meeting, and I had talked to them about how they can use React and Redux, and I was quickly shot down in the meeting. And so what I decided to do was go back and get my research on how that could help their cause, and the benefits of React and Redux, like the one-way data flow, the single source of truth, and how that fit into their development flow. And by bringing back that data, I was able to help them understand why Redux would be a good fit for them and their company.
I think that was pretty solid. Did your boss get upset about that?
You know, it was a really collaborative environment. And so I was lucky in the sense that we were able to open and freely share ideas without worrying about consequence.
That was a really solid answer. Like, I don't have any advice. That was a really good answer. Oh, describe a time you got angry at work. This is a trick question.
I will talk about a time actually today that I got angry with my boss. I'm a software engineer, and I do some consulting, and I deal with a lot of people that claim to have experience but don't, and end up creating some issues for their clients further down the road. And she will introduce me, and she keeps calling me her tech guy. And that I feel devalues a lot of what people put into becoming a software engineer, learning a stack, learning how to architect a program. And so basically, to resolve that, I sat down and talked with her and said, you know, I would appreciate if when you introduce me to a partner or a contractor, that you could use my title instead of calling me your tech guy. We've dealt with these people. I explained the situation to her, how she's dealt with having those people that aren't fully qualified, and she was understanding of it. But I just find that when you get into a situation where you're angry, it usually is a result of a miscommunication or a result of maybe not fully understanding the problem. And so the best way to really handle it for me is to sit down and talk about it.
Okay, so just one thing on that. It was a really long answer for that question.
Okay.
It was like 2 minutes before you talked about a time,
Yeah.
and then what you thought was a solution for that. That was the only thing. feel like you could have cut maybe 60% of that out, and the answer still would have been pretty solid. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Here's
I've noticed that when I get into interviews, and I have to remind myself that when I'm thinking of an answer, instead of just sitting there and blabbering while I'm finding that answer, that it's okay to just take a moment of silence to collect your thoughts. And so I think that you kind of pinpointed that. That's a problem I've struggled with.
Yeah, you start off with a story, and then that story goes on some more, and then you finally come around back to the question, and then you answer it. Okay, here's a good one. It's a trick question. Can you discuss your salary history?
That is a good one. So a few of my contracts have.
Nope, don't do it. Don't answer the question. This is a trick question. You're not supposed to answer it. You should be like, well, first, could I ask the budget of the position so that we can see if we're aligned on our terms of compensation? You have to flip it back. You can't answer that because if you throw a number out there first, you lose.
Okay. See, my go-to response is usually to talk about an NDA or something like that, but I really like how you flip that around, so I'm gonna take that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's you gotta flip it on them. As soon as you post whatever, like even if you go through your all your jobs until where you're at right now, that's gonna be the anchor that they're gonna base your offer on, pretty much.
Okay.
So you say, well, what's the compensation for this position? Is there a range for this? And then you can say, what you want. Like if you're making 75 where you're at right now, and their range for the position is 80 to 90, well, you just screwed yourself. Like now they're gonna give you 80, when you could have gotten 85. So you make them put the range out first, but then when you say, oh great, that range is pretty solid for me, I'm actually making 90,000 right now, and I'd like to stay where I'm at. Boom. So you're not asking for more money, and you're not looking like you're trying to make a jump, and that diffuses that question really quick.
Dang, I really like that. Thank you. I appreciate that little bit of advice.
Yeah, dude, it's solid. It works really good. It's like, it's better than like, well, I'm making 75K right now, and I'd like to make 90, versus, oh, I make 90. Oh, cool. I just like to stay where I'm at. It's like, it sounds so much better,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, let's see. We got another one. How much do you expect to be earning in 5 years?
That's another one of those questions that's hard to get into without talking about what you're currently earning, huh?
Sort of.
And I'm not 100% sure how I would answer this with what we've just discussed.
It's pretty easy. You just have to flip the question again, and you say, well, I'm not sure of the budget range for each position at this company, but I'd like to make a steady increase with each move within the company, of course. Like you don't, again, dodge it, don't put a number.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all questions where you can't answer first, or you just get lowballed.
Yeah, those salary negotiations are definitely probably the hardest for me personally going in. Making the impression I don't struggle as much with, but the second we get to salary negotiations, it's like, oh crap, what do I say?
Yeah. Here's a good one. It's kind of a trick question, but let's see your answer. Are you more of a leader or a follower?
Well, I like to describe myself as a leader, but through my experience, I've learned in business that there are times where being a follower can be more productive and more beneficial to the project. So when I see myself in a situation where I'm forming as a natural leader, I'm comfortable taking that role. But likewise, in other situations, there are times when I'm comfortable being the follower as well.
Okay, all right. That was pretty good. There's a little bit more of a succinct answer. You could say, well, it just depends on the context of the job. If leadership is required and no one's stepping up, of course, I'm happy to do it. But if someone else is already in charge of the project, then, I will just take my role in stride. something like that. But your answer was good too, because if you say, well, I'd like to describe myself as a leader, you might sound like you're difficult to work with if the position that you're in is in like a group.
That makes sense.
Like, what if they already have some guy that's established and you come in, you try to assert dominance when there's someone else, you know what I mean? Like, they think that you're going to be that guy that's like, well, actually, and the kid that raises his hand to correct the teacher, you know, they don't want that guy.
Great. Definitely had a few of those in my CS program.
Oh yeah. Or like the guy that's like, excuse me, professor, you forgot to collect our homework, and everyone's like, shut up. Yeah. Let me see. How do you keep yourself organized?
So I am a notorious note taker. I love to keep all of my notes in the Google Cloud. And so I find that when I have something that I need to reference in my job, going to the Google Cloud would be where I would find that information. As far as code and stuff like that, I'm a huge fan of Git. And I think that is a great way to keep your code organized and the team's contributions organized as well.
That's a pretty solid answer. One thing I would add to that answer would be I'm open and willing to adapt to whatever technology or software that you guys are using as well. Because if they're using like the Atlassian suite or something like that, and you're using Google Cloud, you got to change. Usually, unless you like personal stuff. Generally, stay away from personal answers. If I would have answered that question, I would have said something like, well, what do you guys use to stay organized? Because I'm open to adapting. And that's all I would have said right there. Kind of flip it on them.
Okay.
Oh, here's one. Describe your perfect company.
So my perfect company would be a company where I could provide a positive contribution and feel like my ideas and my talent is being valued and listened to.
Relatively solid answer. The answer that they're looking for is why why is it not this company? Why are you applying here? You should only be applying here if we're the perfect company for you. That's kind of how they're saying. So I would have said something like, well, you know, that's probably the reason why I'm applying here, because I really align with what you guys are doing, and whenever I see myself doing this as a career, I see myself in this position at this company.
That makes sense.
So like if you say anything else other than their company, yeah, that's not good. That's kind of what they're looking at. Let's see. What is your management style? Ooh, this is a good one.
So when I lead a team, I like to have my team members have a complete buy-in in the process. And in order to facilitate that, I like to facilitate collaboration. And so while there are times when you have to take charge and you have to make the decision, my style is to allow the team to formulate their process and the way that they like to work together so that they can accomplish the task at hand.
That was actually a really solid answer. Was that? Can you move that beeping or unplug your fire alarm for a second?
My fire alarm. It just started beeping. Let me go into the other room. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. There's a really easy answer for that question. It's 3 words. All you have to say is, well, the way I manage is trust but verify. I trust my workers and my employees and my colleagues to get their work done, but I need to verify that it gets done in the way it's supposed to and on time. So trust but verify, super common buzz phrase. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just trust but verify. Let's do like 2 more. What do you do in your spare time?
See, these are, as just a comment, these are the questions that I don't like in an interview because I really don't feel that it's my employer's business what I'm doing in my spare time. But with that being said, I would answer the question, to the effect of I spend a lot of my time outside of work learning new stacks and technologies. I love to build with my hands. I love to create, to build something new, and to see a project that I start with an idea and bring it to life, and then be able to find some kind of util in it. And so those are the types of projects that I look for outside of work.
So the answer for that is I prefer to keep my personal life and my professional life separate. And that's it. That's it. Don't say anything else. They're trying to figure out if you're religious. They're trying to figure out if you have kids or a family. They're trying to figure out if you're going to have anything distracting you from work if they need you to come in and do overtime or work weekends. That's it. That's all that question is. And now they slap it in mid-conversation so you don't think about it. Oh, that's cool. What do you like to do for fun? Yeah, just say, well, I just like to keep my personal and professional life separate if that's okay. And then they'll usually be like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. So that was like a trick question. What are your coworker pet peeves?
My biggest pet peeve in the workplace is working with coworkers that don't value communication and a team building process, and like to go off on their own and kind of do their own thing in their own little corner. I find that I'm much more productive on a team that is collaborative.
A pretty solid answer. The one thing that they're looking for is how you address that. How you say, one of the things, first of all, there's not supposed to be a whole lot that gets to you. But also the second answer is like, well, I don't like people that kind of like microwave old food, so you can kind of get away, kind of add some humor in there. Or you could say, well, people that don't notify you when they're stuck. But the way I handle that is I usually, go and ask those sorts of people and, kind of keep them accountable. Something like that.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. I think that's it. Let's let someone else call in. But thanks for calling, dude.
Yeah, thanks for the advice, man. It's really helpful. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, man. Happy 4th.
Bye.
See ya. God, so loud. Coworkers with smelly lunches? Yeah. All right, the number's live. Who's ready for some more trick questions? Any tips for applying to a remote position? Remote, okay. We work remotely. Did my camera die? Really, bro? Oh, okay. All right, I gotta change the battery. Don't call. Don't call. Hold on. One sec. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Are we back? All right. Sweet. Whatever. We made it. By the way, $3K in India per month is too less for even Indian living standards. Yeah, I know. It's trash. $30K per month is decent, I've heard. But $50K should be where you're at. Good pick. I hear a dog. Yeah, they're all afraid of fireworks, so people are lighting off fireworks, so that's what you get. How much I got? 3 bars on this? I gotta go charge this battery real quick. I need to get the R5. Yeah, dude, it's supposed to come out any day now. Whenever. Hey, buddy. How to use your camera as a webcam? You gotta plug it in with an adapter. I have an Elgato. What's more lucrative, being a contractor or a salary position? Contract, because you control your rates. You control how much you work. You control how fast you get the projects done. All that stuff. Being a salary position, someone else gets to tell you when you get a raise, how much that raise is, and how much you get to start at with a salary. What do you mean? Nobody gets rich working a salary. Whoa, he's tall. I'm 6'2". Coworkers eating my sandwiches. Yeah, that's true. Your girlfriend did not look like she enjoyed working out today. I think that she's self-conscious, but she's like making, big gains. You know what I'm saying? Which course on Grindreel are you most proud of? The entrepreneurship course. It's just solid course. Like LegalZoom will charge you $700 to make an LLC. I can show you how to make it for 107. Like the price right there, it pays itself off. Canon has the software to use as a webcam. Not really. Is going to America for a bachelor's in computer science worth it? Are there good jobs? Yeah, there are, but you got to get a visa. Good phone, who this? Oh, the HR lady's here. What are the chances of getting a remote job as a junior dev? Pretty high. You just have to do a video resume. I go over all of that in the course. How to get a remote job, how to research company, all the stuff that we talk about in all of my videos that I've ever mentioned for how to get a job is in there. How to get by office politics as a fresher. You assert your dominance, unzip, mark your territory. I did my new company for my LLC. That's cool. How are your dogs doing? They're pretty good. What are you drinking? This is some not sponsored Diet Pepsi. What's more money, front end or back end? Any plans to move to work in the Bay Area? Hell no. No, I don't want to live in California. I'm good. LegalZoom is a lot of fluff. Yeah, LegalZoom, it just has a nice, pretty interface. I wanted to say hi. Hope you're well. Ben, I hope you're well as well. I know you don't have the 4th of July, but happy 4th of July. Josh, have you thought about getting a Patreon? I have a Patreon. Just has some simple Discord perks and resume review stuff. What should we answer to the question, why are you leaving the current company? I'm looking for more responsibility. Do you not feel like the UI of your website could be improved? It looks pretty hacked together. It's Gumroad. So I didn't do that. It's just Gumroad. I just added some backgrounds. Grindreel Academy is teachable. So you can talk about teachable if you want. How many monitors? I got 3. Got one on each side. Just wanted to say, watching you sleep last night was really cool. Hey, dude. Well, next time, knock on the window. Come say hi. All right.
Call from
Welcome to the stream. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who has impacted you most in your career?
I would say the person that has impacted me most in my career would be my first front-end mentor. He taught me a lot about just thinking through problems, thinking about fundamentals, and it set me up in a really good way in order to just keep on like grinding certain problems whenever I'm down, and also like knowing that if I'm ever stuck, I can always ask somebody for help.
Okay. All right. Here's a good one. I just saw it. 1 second. Are you... Wait, no, that wasn't it. Let's ask you, why are you leaving your current company?
The reason I'm leaving my current company is because I'm looking for a new opportunity. I feel like I grew as much as I could in the current company, and I feel like the contributions I can make at another place will be a lot better than the ones I can currently do. I still really like working where I am right now, but I'm just looking for like a better challenge and somewhere where I can make more of an impact.
Yeah, that's actually a really solid answer. I would say like add their values in there, be like, because I really align with your values and your mission of the product. And other than that, perfect answer. How many hours do you work a week?
Personally, I work my 40 hours, and I put in like extra hours here and there. Usually like on lunch, I'll take like a 30-minute lunch. So usually I just do my 40 hours. But there's a lot of times where I get curious about a problem that I'm solving, and so I'll do like certain research on my own, not directly to solve the problem that day. I'll still save it for the next day. but I'll still be better equipped because I've like searched the problem a little bit more. So overall, I would say like I do like the 40 hours a week that I need, and then I put on a little extra time, but that's just my time that I got curious about a problem, so I wanted to look it up a little bit more.
Okay, so that was kind of a trick question. You don't really want to answer that question. You just want to kind of be vague and say whatever it takes to get the job done.
Nice.
That's it. That's all you say. Just don't say 40 hours. If you look like the guy that comes in and does their 9 to 5, you can't. They're not gonna hire you. You're gonna look like you're just slacking. That's why you just say whatever it takes to get the job done. And most of the time, that's 9 to 5 and 40 hours.
Yeah, got him. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask you another question with a challenge on it.
Okay.
Between your words, don't say just keep it silence. It's going to be really awkward for you, but for everyone else and me, it's going to be normal.
Okay.
Just a heads up. So instead of saying just silence between the words. So explain why you've had so many jobs.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let me see. Damn. So I've had so many jobs. Yeah, I keep saying It's kind of like stuck in my head now.
Yeah, every time you're about to end your sentence, just let it pause. It's not awkward. I promise. It feels awkward for you because you're on the spot, but for us, it's totally normal.
All right. Yeah. So I have a lot of different jobs because I'm looking for like a lot of different challenges. Sometimes oh man, is like so ingrained. It's like my way of gathering my thoughts that when I pause, it just like it's pretty hard.
It's all good. It sounds perfect. Yeah. It sounded really solid. Keep.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Keep going.
So it doesn't awkward for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. Oh yeah. So I've had a lot of different jobs because I'm always looking for like a new challenge, and sometimes the present project that I've been working on got completed, and so there's like a lot of time in between where I felt like I could be challenging myself more, and so I'm always looking for like a new challenge. So I just keep on trying to find new opportunities. Sometimes that doesn't come with the company that I'm currently working at, and I always try to leave it in a very like accommodative place, and there's like a lot of understanding. So like when I go over, it's not basically burning bridges. We're just it's just taking a next step and moving forward.
Dude, that sounded fantastic. That sounded great. There was a couple but there was no ums. Yeah. It wasn't just It was just That's like completes the sentence. That's pretty normal. But dude, that was good. Is it a clap? Yeah. Hold on, let me ask chat for some claps. Chat, can we get some claps for this, man? That was solid, dude. Let's do it one more with another question here. See, I just said it.
Yeah.
It's totally normal.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you have any questions for me? Let's pretend the interview's over.
Yeah. So my questions for you are, what value have you gotten from the company, and how has the company values helped you grow as a person?
Solid. Those were solid. Do you have any other questions besides that?
How do you foster a good work culture, and what makes you continuously want to come?
Are you reading these from a list? How you have so many? Nobody has these questions.
What?
Are you reading these from a list? How you?
I'm trying to come up with in my head.
Okay. So let's say this is the last question. What do you ask? Like it's the end of the interview. What do you say? If she doesn't say, "Do you have any questions?" It's the interview. It's the end of the interview. What do you say?
That's a good. I would probably say, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. I really enjoyed my time interviewing with you guys, and I want to keep in touch. Here's my contact information. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to send me a message. And is it all right if I'm able to contact you guys just in case there's something that comes up in my head that I want to talk about?
That's solid. The most typical question that you want to ask is, what are the next steps? Do you need any more information from me? And did I answer all of your questions thoroughly in this interview? Because if I didn't, feel free, and I'm happy to clarify anything. And sometimes they will. But you have to get those next steps, and you have to get that ETA for when they're going to email you. Because if you just walk out and you say that, you don't know when they're going to reach out. Like if they say 2 weeks, then you have an idea. If they say next Monday, you have an idea. But if you just walk out, you have no idea. Like, at least make them say, we're not going to call you back. Like, this isn't going to work out.
Right.
to make them say something.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do one
I would
more. What? Go ahead.
I have one question on that.
Hmm.
So like, what is your should I ask that during the interview or should I ask that like during like a thank you letter phase? Like when I send a thank you letter?
So you don't want to ask that until the end of the interview. When she says, "Do you have
Okay.
any questions for me?" You could ask your "What value did you get?" question, and
Yeah.
what did the next steps look like as far as this interview process goes at this company.
Okay. I see. All right.
Here's a good question. Let's practice on the ums again. What do you
Yeah.
want to accomplish in the first 30 days of this job?
So the first thing I want to accomplish is I want to get more familiar with like the code base. I think that every code base is kind of unique, so I have to kind of like dig in to make sure that I understand what people are talking about, and I have like a firm understanding and grounding of what the product is doing. And what comes with that is the benefit I can add from taking the time to learn the code base is I can potentially tackle some technical debt that is still going on. Maybe like clean up some code, or I can like further review code, and just to make sure that everything is in line, but also as well learning the code base so I could be more productive down the line.
That's a really solid answer. The ums have almost been eliminated, dude.
Yeah.
That's great. That
Yeah.
was a solid answer. I probably would have said something like, within the first 30 days, I expect to be doing something with production code and be adding value rather than just training myself up with the current
Right.
project, whatever. I just say, I want to be adding real value to the project that I'm assigned to within 30 days. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
let's see. Who is your favorite manager and why?
So my favorite manager was this dude. My favorite manager was a guy named A. It was really good because he really talked through his experience and he really got to me. Because I'm a person that really learns through reading books and like studying videos, as opposed to him. He did a lot of stuff with experience. So he was often challenging me to think in different ways. And every time I talked to him, I just like came out blown away and very inspired. And that just kept me wanting to continue to like work and improve on myself and like keep providing value because he's always somebody that every time I get stuck, he'll provide new insight that'll just continue to like push me forward. So that's what I really liked about him as a manager.
That's pretty solid. I would have kept it a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And like those last few words, he kept pushing me forward. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Um, I got another one here. Why is our company interesting to you? I know I didn't give you like a detailed background of the company,
Yeah.
but let's pretend you're doing a front end position.
Yeah. So the company is very interesting to me because it's providing like a lot of uh sorry, let me start. The company is really interesting to me because um the product that the company is using provides a lot of value into a community that I really feel like I've always wanted to be a part of, and I think me having a passion for the community and the product being able to provide value to that community really gets me interested and excited to work on the projects and all the everything that that the company has to offer with this particular product.
What about my values? You didn't say anything about my values or our
Oh yeah,
mission.
yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
what they want. Like
yeah, yeah.
why you're passionate about the product, why you have the same values as us and the same goals. But the community was pretty
Yeah.
close. I'd take that. Would you ever lie for a company?
Would I ever lie for a company? Um, I guess this is a trick question, but dude, yeah, that's crazy. I would have to say like I wouldn't lie. I think if a company is lying, then there's something else that's like wrong. So yeah, I personally just wouldn't. I wouldn't want to partake in a lie because there might be something that's hidden deeper in there. And personally, I just wouldn't want to work for a company that's doing that.
I mean, that's a long-winded answer of what I would say. I would be like, no. Next question. So that's kind of what they're looking for. Absolutely
Yeah,
not. That's if they're trying to do something shady and they don't want, if they're messing with the SEC or something like that, they're doing insider trading and you're aware that these people are doing insider trading and they're about to go public and everyone knows that, so everyone buys a bunch of stuff. Uh, that's the sort of thing that companies try to cover up, and they want
yeah,
to be, they want to know if you're just gonna let it sweep under the rug or if you see someone else doing something, are you going to call them out on it, or are you just going to not say anything? That's that question.
Oh, okay, I see.
Describe a time you went above and beyond.
So a time I went above and beyond was I was working on a project, and basically I didn't necessarily have the skill level to work on that project. But I decided, because it was going to be like a tedious project for a lot of people, I decided to take ownership for that project. And I had a lot of questions throughout the project, but slowly I was like making a lot of progress, and eventually within like a couple of weeks, I was able to fully take on the project, learn a brand new framework, and I was able to complete the project within the deadline. Coming from where I didn't even know the stack that I was working with to finishing the project. I think a lot of people appreciated that I took that ownership, because a lot of other, especially like my managers, had something else to do. So since I was able to complete that, they really felt that I contributed really well to the team, and I felt like that was personally me going above and beyond, because the project wasn't, it was just thrown out there, and I decided to go ahead and take ownership of it.
I think the last sentence again was the best sentence of that whole thing. It was a project that was slightly above what I thought I could do. I decided to step up, take ownership, and I got it done.
Yeah.
I learned what I needed to, got it done on time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Why? Here's a good one. Where do you see yourself? I'll ask you in the corporate. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, sir?
Where do I see myself in 10 years? So 10 years from now, I potentially see myself in a senior like dev position, really trying to work on product design.
You gotta make sure to
Also
specify this company. You gotta make sure when you say senior dev, you gotta say at this company, because if you just say it like that, yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
But they would have stopped listening if you didn't say that. So.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Yo, chat is so funny.
Chat is just a meme.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to work nights and weekends?
Yeah, I would be willing to work nights and weekends. Usually, I'm always doing some sort of like studying anyway during that time. So if I'm doing a project that I'll actually like probably accelerate my learning, so yeah, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't. I wouldn't. I would say if the project that I'm working on dictates it to get it done on time, then
Right.
sure.
Okay.
But you already you started telling me about what you're already doing on your weekends, and that can be a slippery slope to like, what happens? Are you going to church on Sundays? Now I know your religion. Now I can discriminate. You know, like.
I see. Yeah.
It's a trick question. There's a good question in chat here. What would you do if a coworker asks you how much you make?
I wouldn't tell them.
You would tell them?
I would not.
Why?
Yeah. I think it's kind of like a private thing, and like I know what you're getting at. Like it's bad for the company if coworkers start talking, because let's say I'm getting paid like $3,000 more than my other coworker, and then I tell them, and that can create friction within the company. But I'm not sure, because it's kind of like a mental game. Is that a right thing to say during the interview?
I would say, well, I like to be pretty transparent with my compensation. And that's it. Like, that's on them. That flips the script and places it on them. If the company knows that they're lowballing some people and paying some people more, and then people get upset when people talk and find out about it, that's not your fault. That's gaslighting. Right. If they get mad at you, right? They should just be a good company and pay people what they're worth. You know, but obviously people got to learn to negotiate too. So it goes both ways. But honestly, it's illegal to say you can't talk about your salary at work. It is 100%. A company cannot say you can't tell other people what you make, because you absolutely can, but they make it this taboo because, again, people start talking and the company has to deal with these people that are like, why does he get paid more for the same thing? And the reality is the company doesn't want to say to that person, well, he negotiated better than you, like that, because that's what they'd have to say. He just negotiated better than you. Like, that would piss everybody off. But still, I would say I just like to be pretty transparent with my salary. And then that kind of, you could kind of tell if they're a crappy company.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
There's some other ones in here. I'm looking at some chat questions.
Yeah.
Chat has good questions.
Yeah.
Let me open up my list. What qualities make a good leader?
I think a quality of a good leader is like having a vision, um, somebody that can take like a project, lay it out in simple terms for everybody to understand, dictate like what part of a project somebody's going to do, take ownership of like the overall management of each individual, and also keeping a cohesion within the team, like setting deadlines, like organizing all that stuff, and just being like leading by example, and making sure that at the higher levels, like at the I guess most highest part of the project, that they're managing that well, so that the components of the project are still like working very well. And I think that goes back to like having just a good vision and organization.
That was a really long answer.
Okay.
I think I probably would have said something like, well, he needs to be transparent with what he's doing. I need to know where he wants to go. I need to be able to see what he sees, at least to the best of my ability, and he needs to be able to delegate work well, and
Yeah.
so that we're all clear on the tasks that we need to do. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I would have said.
Yeah.
Let's look at another one. How would you feel about reporting to a person younger than you?
I have no problem with that. I feel like if they have the certain skills that can um, like leadership skills, being able to delegate, being able to um, solidly mentor me, and that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with that.
Cool. That's actually a trick question. The same thing. They'll ask
Oh.
you. They'll ask you stuff like, "How do you feel about reporting to a female boss? How do you feel about reporting someone way older than you?" They're
Yeah.
just trying to see if you have any biases. That's
Okay.
all. That's all they're really trying to see. I would just say, no, age is irrelevant to me.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you really think about your previous boss?
Um, so personally, I really like my previous boss, uh, and I think he did his job well. It was just time for me to move on.
That's a solid answer. But even if you didn't like your boss, you would say that, right? Please say yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you deal with an irate coworker?
Oh man, I'm actually not sure what irate means.
Super mad, yelling, screaming, flipping tables, etc.
Oh man. Um. So if my coworker was irate, I would try to deal with it in a calm manner. But also, I understand depending on like, um, so can I ask the question like, what level are they? Are they the same level as me, or are they like in a different level?
The same as you. They're just in your group. Same job as you.
Okay. Yeah. So um, obviously there's a lot of like different personality types, and I don't think that I would fully be able to like tell somebody that's at the same level as me um the right thing to like get them unfrustrated. So I'll try to defuse the situation as much as possible, and then I'll try to like talk to like a manager and see if we can have a sit down so we can clear the air and we can continue moving forward with whatever project we were working with.
What if he doesn't want to sit down and talk to you? What if he refuses to cooperate?
Um, yeah, if he refuses to cooperate, I'll try my best to like continue to be like a team player. And if he doesn't want to cooperate with me, that's why I brought in the manager. So hopefully, they can talk it out, and eventually, like we can get back to doing the project.
Okay. I would say what you said basically. I'd say, well, I try to talk to him about it first. Maybe give him some space if that's what he needs, and I try to talk to him. And then if that didn't work, I just escalate from there.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly
Yeah.
simple
Okay.
answer. This is a good question
Yeah.
in chat from Jack. He says, "How do you improve yourself outside of work?"
So the way I improve myself outside of work is just trying to continue to stay aware of the trends that are going to be like useful, and also just continuously studying. I'm a curious person, so I'm always like trying to study and pick up new things, just to see, just to better my skills, and hopefully those things can translate to actual success in the workplace. So just continuously studying.
I don't know. I'd be careful with that. How do you improve
Okay.
yourself is another bait
Yeah.
question to find out what you're doing in your free time, pretty much.
Oh, I see.
Like some people would answer that question and be like, well, I like to stay fit and have a clear mind all the time, and they start going on about their hobbies. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a trick question.
Yeah. Okay. So how would you answer that one?
I would just say I like to stay on top of my craft. That's it. Like
Okay.
something super vague.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I read, whatever. Some, everybody reads.
Yeah.
Something that everybody does.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
what is your ideal company size?
Um, I don't really have an ideal company size. It's more about like the product that they're working with and what value they can present. And I think a company has the values that I would like to work for.
Is that the truth, though?
Huh?
Is that the truth?
Yeah, that's the truth.
Like you actually don't prefer any size company?
Yeah, like right now, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay, that's fair enough. What your answer was good
Yeah.
then. Let's see. What is a book that everyone needs to read and why?
What is a book everybody needs to read and why? All right. So a book. Let me see. I personally, I think like Mastery by Robert Greene is a pretty good one. Um, like personally, I just try to think like I try to build like my skills and I want to achieve mastery in something. And so I think that's just like a really good book.
Okay, that was a solid answer. I would say Mastery was a great book by Robert Greene because it enforces once you learn how to do something, you deal with the intricacies and master your craft, whatever. That was actually a solid answer. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Uh, what's your biggest regret at work and why?
Um, my biggest regret at work is, um, well, when I was starting off, I didn't know how to take ownership of certain situations or take ownership of stuff that I wanted to do. So the biggest regret I had was not taking on more responsibility. And then recently, as I've developed as a professional, I started taking more ownership. And if there's something I want to do and I see that nobody's taking the lead on it, I just go and start it.
Okay, that was a solid answer. What's the least favorite thing about yourself?
Um, let's see. Okay, so the least favorite thing about myself is that sometimes I can be a little bit too isolated, and then that can like kind of lead me to be like in my head when it's easier to just ask the question to somebody else and get a different perspective. And so now I take the time to like evaluate like is this something that I can figure out within like 2 hours, and if it isn't, then I'll go ahead and try to see if I can talk to somebody to give me new perspective, and with that fresh mindset, hopefully I can figure out things. But sometimes I still have the tendency of staying back a little bit too long.
That was a solid answer. That question is just what is your biggest weakness in another form,
Uh,
just
oh, I
relabeled.
see. Okay, yeah.
What will you miss about your previous job?
Uh, so the thing I would miss about my previous jobs is like the opportunity to tinker on different things. I felt like there was like a lot of different things that I could try, and there was actually a lot of like coworkers that were able to help me every time that I took on something new.
Okay, here's a good question. What would you do if there's a company policy that you didn't agree with?
Um, So if there was a company policy that I wouldn't agree with, I would discuss it with my like a manager or the person that made the policy to see if I can get a better understanding, just to make sure I understand the policy and the purpose that it has for the company, and if it aligns with like the company values, and if it does, then I'll have to like rethink and see how I can like either one better it so it aligns more, or two, if it doesn't align with the company values, how we can rework it in order to um
No, they're asking
like
if you have a
okay,
problem. Like,
if
what
I
if
have a
you
problem
have a
with it.
problem with the company values?
Okay, so yeah, if I have a oh sorry, with the policy or the company value.
Like with a company policy that has to deal with their values or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if I have a problem, I'll probably vocalize it and try to get more of an understanding of why this policy is being implemented.
Okay. I would say I'd bring it up with a manager and I'd say, do you agree with this as well? And I'd see what they have to say because I bet you're not the only one that disagrees.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Describe a time you chose not to help a teammate.
So a time I decided not to help a teammate was when we were working on a particular project. My teammate was tasked with a particular part of the project, and they weren't putting on. And every time I tried to like talk to them about it, they would just put it off and say that it would get done later. Eventually, I realized that it wasn't going to get done, and no matter how much I tried, there wasn't going to be that part of the project wasn't going to be done. So I ended up talking with a manager about like the situation and seeing if like either A, somebody else could take on the responsibility, and I willingly said like if need be, I would also take on the responsibility, or B, if they can talk to the person because they weren't listening to me. And so trying to escalate would potentially get that fixed.
Basically, the answer is kind of that. But you should say, well, there has never been a time. I've always tried to help them, unless they don't want help. That's what I would say. Don't ever actually admit to not doing that. Just say, well, I always try to help. I can only help if they let me, though.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
How would you fire someone?
If I had to fire somebody, I would just be as straightforward as possible. I wouldn't try to beat around the bush, and I'll just give it to them straight.
You wouldn't offer them a second chance? You wouldn't talk to them about it first, or how would you go about it? What if they said, "Please let me stay. I'll improve."
If we got to the position where a person is getting fired, I think there would have been thorough discussion about it. So I understand that there's like a personal and emotional side to it, and I never really want to fire somebody for that reason. But at the same time, it's like if we have to cut back for a certain reason, I'd rather do it as quickly as possible instead of like beating around the bush and or trying to like give them hope. Is just like it's not going to happen if we made the decision to fire them. Then they as bad as it sounds, they have to be fired.
Okay, that's pretty solid. I'd just be like, quickly, and as quiet as possible. You know, it is what you gotta do. What you gotta do.
Yeah.
One person in chat's like, I would do it via Zoom call. Okay.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's funny though.
Let's see. What is your greatest fear?
So my greatest fear is that I just wouldn't provide value to the world, basically. So what I do is that I try to like improve myself in any way possible. So when the opportunities come, I'm ready to provide value at any point. And I'm also actively looking for opportunities and find ways where I can provide value.
Describe your work style.
My work style has been described as a person that's going to grind, very curious and always looking into deeper into the problems. And I always come up with like new insights from that because I dug so deep. So in one word, just a grinder. And yeah.
I'd be careful with that because they might take advantage of that, especially if you're new. They'd be like, I'll work, work yourself to the bone. You know, don't do that. Don't let them do that. Just say, well, I get the work done on time. I do my job to the best of my ability, and that's it.
Yeah.
Someone said, how long does this portion of the interview actually last? A lot. Like if someone said, why don't we ask tech questions? If you don't answer these questions right, you don't get to the tech questions. This is the bottleneck. This is the gatekeeper. So it doesn't really matter. Let's see. If you won a $10 million lottery, would you still work?
Yeah. If I won a $10 million lottery, would I still work? I would say, yeah. I think like winning $10 million is cool, but then it doesn't necessarily provide value anywhere. And again, I just want to like provide some sort of value somewhere. So, and I think work can be fulfilling in that capacity.
I think it's kind of a double question. They're trying to check to see if you have any ambitions outside of work.
Oh yeah.
Because I think everyone would try to do something. They'd take some time off and go explore, or they'd invest it, but they still want to see that like you feel the need to produce, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pretty good answer.
So like, yeah. So like saying something like, "Oh, I would start a startup." I felt like, would that be?
Yeah, I'd say, well, I've always had a passion to do this, but I wouldn't just like. I feel like the idea of sitting on the beach would be nice for like 3 weeks, but then I would get bored. I have to be producing. I have to feel like I have some purpose in life. That's
Yeah.
Let's see. What's one negative thing your boss would say about you?
One negative thing that my boss will say about me is that sometimes I don't speak out enough. Sometimes, like the few times that I do speak out, it can be really insightful. But I don't do it often enough. So sometimes they'll just be like, "Hey, next time just talk a little bit sooner or talk a little bit more."
That's pretty solid. I guess that's it, dude. I asked you like a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Dude, you did solid.
So many.
Like just going through the interview from when we first started to now, sound way more confident.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does chat think? I think this man deserves a round of applause. Hold on. Good work, dude. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
I hope this helped.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it was really helpful. Yeah, like I felt like one of the big takeaways was shortening my answers because sometimes I can like go around a little bit too much. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. All right. Happy 4th of July, dude. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Bye.
See ya. Ah, it's so loud. All right, that was cool. Does Chad have any questions for me? Someone tagged me. Hired. Have you considered that your advice and way of seeing things does not fit everyone's personality and needs? All you seem to say looks very one-sided and definitive. Yeah, bro, these questions aren't open answers. You have to say these answers. This question that says, describe yourself, doesn't actually mean describe yourself. It means talk about your skills, talk about how they relate to the job, talk about your values, talk about how they relate to the job. Like, the questions that you get asked are not what they actually asked. That's the problem. All right.
Call from
So loud.
Nathan?
What's up, man? Welcome. Can you mute me in the background?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sweet.
I'm a huge fan, by the way.
Sweet, dude. Cool. Thanks for calling. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Are you willing to travel?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that's a pretty solid answer. I would say as much as the job needs me to. But yeah, that's fine. If you say it too willingly, they might be like, okay, great, we're just going to come to you first for everything. But if you really want to do it, then I guess that's good.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind traveling.
Okay. What was this? Describe a time when you had to give a person difficult feedback.
When I was working on projects before, there were times when I would have to give difficult feedback. I guess the strategy I've worked with is to just tell people some good stuff first before you give them bad news. And that seems to go a long way.
That's pretty solid. Describe a time when your work was criticized.
I think earlier in my career, there were times when my work was criticized. But generally, I try to look at it as a learning opportunity. You can pick something new up from that criticism, hopefully, and do better work in the future.
Can you give like a more specific example?
I guess, again, early in my career when I was learning some web technologies for the first time, working on JavaScript frameworks for the first time, I think that there were times when I just didn't know the best practice for those things. And I definitely received some pretty long code reviews over that.
Okay. What's your ideal working environment?
Definitely on a smaller team, on a kind of on something like on a project that I get to take a lot of ownership over. I would say is probably my ideal working environment.
But in terms of like the actual environment, what does that look like? Are you in an office? Are you in a cubicle?
Well, right now I'd probably be at home, but yeah, I guess somewhere where I would have the opportunity to work remote would be great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. That question is your chance to say if you'd ever want to be remote. If you don't bring it up, they're probably not gonna give you another opportunity to do it. Like that's your moment.
Gotcha.
What's your favorite all-time movie, and why?
Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one. Probably Train Spotting. I love how it's written. The dialogue is just great. Ewan McGregor is a great actor. It's really fun to watch, and you kind of pick up new things in it every time you watch it.
I think that's solid. That question is kind of, if you pick something that's political, they can get an idea and they can discriminate. That's what they're looking for there. So it has to be super vague.
I gotta. What is it? I should pick. What's a really political movie? What's the worst one you could pick for that kind of question?
I don't know. Yeah, like there's a lot of like documentaries specifically. Like if you were to be like, I like Michael Moore's work. Oh, obviously I know what you probably think about politics or something. You know, like that.
Gotcha.
I would say something like superheroes, probably something that everyone has to like, kind of deal. Let's see.
Okay.
What character traits would your friends use to describe you?
Optimistic, hardworking, hopefully someone with a sense of humor. Yeah, that's how I would say they would describe me.
A solid answer. Let's see. Do you have a personal mission statement?
I haven't really thought about that, but I would say it's probably something like maybe something like making the world a little bit of a better place, or kind of, yeah, I don't know, something like that maybe. I haven't really thought about that one before.
Okay, yeah, you actually might get asked. That one's pretty common. What commonly accepted view do you disagree with, and why?
Ooh, I've been asked this one before. I think that the third Batman movie is way better than the second Batman movie. I don't really know what you answer to that one. Like, what do you say?
That's what you answer right there. Yeah, they're baiting you. That's bait. Yeah, you're good. That's a good one.
Okay. That's the one I gave.
Good. That's perfect. This is a good question. Would you ever? Well, that one's too easy. You seem like you know what's going on. I'm gonna ask you something more difficult. What can you bring to the company?
I think I can. I think I really elevate my team when I'm on a team, with my kind of optimism, with my esprit du corps. I don't know how to pronounce that right, but with that kind of, that's what I really bring to a company, beyond my technical skills, of course. And that's what I think I really excel in doing, motivating people, making people smile at work. That's what I bring, I think.
Wait, there was another one in here. Crap. What was it? What is your dream job?
Definitely working on projects that I have almost total ownership of is definitely something I aspire to, or working for myself someday, because I definitely have an entrepreneurial streak as well.
You would not get the job by saying that. They would end it right there. That would, yep. If your dream job has to be a position at that company, pretty much. This is one where you have to lie through your teeth. You don't really get, unless you can really read that they actually want to see something ambitious about you. You basically have to say, well, my dream job would be being a manager at this company? You know, being
Okay.
something like that. That's just a trick question. I thought you were gonna get that one.
Like a lot of places I've worked have been smaller startups, right? And a lot of those guys do tend to appreciate, like, especially if you're talking to like the CTO or something like that, you know, they're going to want someone who does have that kind of ambition, right? You know, and I think you're kind of exploiting a little bit that like that desire that some of these people have to like kind of take someone under their wing, right? Like a new entrepreneur or something like that. I guess that's the context where I give that answer.
Exactly. Or if they wanted to see that you have like a lot of ideas, like if you're the type of person that's going to have an idea at a startup, that's why they ask that question. At a startup, they like entrepreneurial spirit because everybody's always flinging out ideas and new ideas are failing and like one sticks and then, you know, that's what they like. But at like a larger company, if you said that, no, wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You just like have to, totally. You have to really be able to recognize when it's a genuine question and when it's double speak. When they're like, it's bait. So, it's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, sure. I think a good one is like ask. Here, I'll ask it. What is the development process, or what does the kind of project management process at this company look like? That's one I like to ask.
That's solid. What about if I was HR and I had no idea?
If you're HR. I mean, I guess another good one would be, you know, I've read your website. Could you describe the culture at this company in your own words?
That's a good one. I'd like to ask, like, what is your favorite thing at this company? Like, what do you see most in it? What is your end goal? And then what attracted you to the company? Probably something like that. And
do you think it's ever a good idea to ask them what their least favorite thing about the company they work for is?
I would make that into a double question. I'd say, what is your most favorite thing about the culture here and least favorite, so you can have a positive with it.
Cool.
But yeah, you can definitely ask that. I mean, that's a fair question. Like, or I wouldn't say what's your least favorite. I would say, what do you think needs improving? That way, doesn't sound so harsh. It's so silly that you have to reframe everything, but yeah.
I mean, it's the shit sandwich, right? That's what you gotta give them, like everywhere.
What would you do if you disagreed with company policy?
Well, I think I'd really have to evaluate if I was disagreeing with the policy for the right reason or not. Or beyond that, it's easier to change yourself sometimes than it is to change like a policy. So I just try to reevaluate why I felt that way about it and move on from there.
That was a solid answer. Let me see. Do you prefer to work alone or on a team?
I think it depends. There's definitely some things that I like to work alone on. Or there's some things that you need to work alone on, where when you have a lot of people working on the same thing, it makes it's less effective. But there's other things where it's definitely great to be on a team. So I think I don't like to be on large teams, but or very large teams. But it's definitely nice to be supported sometimes as well. So I guess it depends on the project.
What are your hobbies? What are you doing when you're not at work?
I study. I read. Practice my craft.
Yeah, that's cheating. You've been here. Okay. Let's see. Why did you choose your major? Or actually, wait, hold on. Why are you looking for a career change?
Well, I've always been fascinated with computers and computer programming. So it's just always something I've loved. And I've done it as a hobby for a long time. So I felt like it was time to make a switch.
What is your favorite memory from childhood?
I feel like that's a loaded one. Definitely riding my bike with my friends, probably hanging out during the summers. Yeah, definitely lots of memories like that. Pool parties, going to the beach. Yeah.
That's yeah, okay. That's super vague. That's a good answer. what's a skill that you would love to have that you don't have right now?
I'd love to be really, really good at math. And I'm studying that in my spare time. So hopefully sometime soon.
How long do you expect to work at this company?
For as long as you guys will have me.
That's a pretty good answer. I think a better answer would be, well, within X amount of years, I'd like to be in management. And then I guess from there, the sky's the limit. Like, they wanted something just slightly more specific, but yeah, same answer.
Gotcha.
Let me pull up my red flag questions, the all bait questions. Shouldn't have said that, but.
Okay.
Are you married?
No.
Nope, don't answer the question. That's bait. You can't just, next question. You say, I just prefer to keep it separate. That's it.
If they ask though,
yeah,
like is if you were married, would that be that would be something probably negative to a lot of these companies,
yeah,
right?
Exactly, because and then the next thing they're gonna wonder is if you have kids, and then they're gonna want to know how old your kids are, and then they're gonna assume, okay, he's probably gotta leave work, he's not gonna be able to work overtime all the time because of his kids. His wife may be having a kid soon, he's gonna have to take time off, and like stuff like that.
But as an unmarried guy with like no kids, wouldn't that just give me an advantage over the competition, who they're also going to ask that question to?
They're going to work you to the bone if you say no, basically.
Gotcha.
And if you say yes, I'm married, it's not good. If you say no, oh, cool, a guinea pig.
It's also bad.
Yeah.
Got you.
So just kind of, I prefer to keep it separate. By the way, what does your girlfriend do for a living?
I prefer to keep that private.
There you go. That's how long do you plan to work until you retire?
I prefer to keep that private as well, actually.
Do you get what they're asking for in that question?
Yeah. I think that they're trying to figure out how long it is they can work you for, right?
It gives away your age.
Retire in a few years. I see.
Instant age. Basically, if you say, well, I expect to be working for the next 25 years, okay, you're 40 years old. Got it. That's a bait question. Are you a U.S. citizen?
No.
Yeah, they're not allowed to ask that. That's actually illegal. You'd probably be better off just walking out and suing the company, and you'd make more money than you would at the job if they ask that. They can only ask, are you authorized to work in this country? That's it. They can't say anything like that. Where did you grow up?
Canada.
Yeah, you can't answer that either because
you can't ask that either?
Nope, because then they can discriminate. Like, what happens if you grew up in another country? Like you actually grew up in like a third world country, and they assume all these things about you because you grew up there.
Got you.
Yeah. When did you graduate high school?
That's another age question. I prefer not to answer.
Yep, exactly. Have you experienced any illnesses in the past year?
Sorry, that's personal.
Exactly. Do you know what they're getting at for that one?
I think that they just want to figure out if you're a liability or not.
Basically, they're trying to figure out if you have any disabilities and how often they can expect you to be out and sick time.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a discriminatory question, right? They're supposed to be equal opportunities, but if they ever ask you, have you ever been sick, they're trying to figure that out, and that's why you can't ask that question. What about, are you comfortable working for a female boss?
Of course.
Cool. Actually, you can answer that one. Will you need personal time off for any religious holidays?
I'd prefer not to answer that.
I mean, perfect. Yeah, I mean, but you can see how they'd say it so casually that you wouldn't think about it. They'd just be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, what do you do on the weekends? What are your hobbies? All that stuff.
Got you.
What arrangements are you able to make for childcare while you're at work?
It's personal.
Solid. Again, that question is baiting to see if you have kids. So they'll just assume it.
Yeah, I've never been asked a lot of these questions, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. Sometimes girls will be asked, like, are you expecting to have any kids? which means they're checking to see if they're going to train you, and then you take maternity leave, pretty much. And they're
Got you.
yeah. I think that's it. That's all I got for the red flag questions. Was this helpful?
Yeah, this was definitely helpful. I kind of interview a lot, and I have a job, so it's my friends are all telling me to call in. They're huge fans of your show.
Oh, cool, dude. Well, tell them I said hi. Go light some fireworks for me because I don't have any.
Okay, man. Well, in Canada, we had our thing.
Yours was
ago,
Wednesday.
so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We love your show. We're all in tech.
Cool, man.
Keep
Thanks.
fighting the good fight.
I will.
Okay.
Thanks, man. Cool. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
See you, dude. All right, I think that was pretty solid. I'm gonna put this on mute for a second. One moment, and I'll answer some questions from chat real quick. Is this helpful? I have all these questions written in that. All the questions, all the answers, all that stuff. It's all in the course. And more. But I hope this is helpful. Oh, by the way, Handy, thanks again. Yeah, that Canada Day was Wednesday. It's an hour and a half. I think this is a pretty valuable stream, personally. Only 200 people. Everyone's lighting fireworks. It's the holidays. I don't know what I expected. Just leave a like, I guess. Or a comment if you have a question that you want to know how to answer to. That'd be good, and then I can add it. Hey, Chronicles, thanks, man. You don't have to do that. Your courses have materials that will apply to cybersecurity jobs. Like, it doesn't go into the technical questions because every job is going to ask different technical questions. They're all going to have different take-home tests. They're all going to have different whiteboard tests. Like, it's impossible to cover them all. If Tata asks me if I'm a U.S. citizen, is that legal? They can only ask if you have authorization to work in the country that they want to hire you in. Yes, so yes, that's illegal. Can you go through the most common trap questions? I just did with him. Kind of with the dogs when it comes to this holiday. I should have went to Wyoming and got the good fireworks. I feel like there's so many people are focused on the tech side of these interviews, which is good, right? Obviously, you need to be able to do your job, but also you need to be able to communicate with people that aren't necessarily your best friends or your friends or that people that you talk to every day. Like, because as a developer at your job, you're going to be working with all kinds of people. You might have some favorites, but Any recommendations for full stack dev? Java or Python? Python all the way. Are you dummy thick? Yeah, dude. Dummy thick. Yo, Josh, what's up? Adam, thanks for being here, dude. It's kind of late where you're at. Should you ever ask about salary or let them get to the point and ask you? If it starts getting like to the third or fourth interview, you can ask. Developer with digital marketing skills an advantage? Absolutely. If you can sell, even better. I mean, you might as well just make your own company at that point. Making jokes in the interview? Yeah, sure. If you can, you really have to be able to read people for this. I'm headed out. Have a nice night, Hunter. You too. Thanks for being here. Can you work remotely from a country you've never been? Yeah, you'd be a W-8 contractor specifically for the US. I don't know what the other rules are for Germany, but how do you answer why are you leaving your job after being there for a while? Yeah, you say, well, I think I've done what I could at that company. I've contributed everything I have, and I'm ready to take on a new responsibility, a new role where I can continue to grow my skills and benefit your company. How does a train eat? It choo-choos. Solid. Jovan says, very useful stuff. Are your dogs afraid of fireworks? Yeah. They sure are. Those kind of personal questions don't resonate with me. I've never been asked them. Only after being hired. It's illegal to ask because benefits with living together kids. Oof. Yeah, I mean, once you, like, if you've ever wondered how your boss, that's a giant douchebag, got his job, it's because he can communicate. Have you ever wondered how your boss sucks at his job, but somehow he's your boss? It's because he can communicate. Now imagine if you're good at your job and you can't communicate. I used how much is in the budget for the position response when asked my salary expectation. They gave their number first. Good, exactly. How to politely leave a company to start a business. You just say, I think I've done what I can do here, and I appreciate my time here, and I would love to have you as a reference. I'd love to have your blessing, but I think it's time for me to move on. Any websites for EU people wanting to work remote for US companies? Not specifically for EU people, Mantis. And if it's remote, it doesn't really matter where you're coming from anyways. So weworkremotely.com, remoteok.io. Again, I go over all this stuff. How to work remote jobs, how to apply remote jobs, video interviews, video applications, how to hack Indeed, all this stuff. Everything I know. And I'm going to add more. But you gotta give the free value. You can't just be like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna tell you gotta pay. Nah. When you say they know how to communicate, do you really mean they know how to tell people what they want to hear? Yeah, that's playing the game. If you have a podcast, should you remove that from your portfolio? Podcast can stay. Side hustle, I'd take off. And just send me an email. All right, we'll look at bins real quick. Hold on. This is one of your most valuable lives. I think there's a lot of value here, yeah. How early is too early to leave your first job? 6 months. Stay 6 months. If you leave, you could leave a job on there for like 3 months, but anything under 3 months, that job didn't even exist. But if you need that job to get another job, maybe just take that starting date and move it back 3 months. Just so that you can get to the interview. And then explain why you're moving. Is it beneficial to bring up skills that are not exactly related to the job? Yes. So like for web dev, in this example, I brought up my game dev skills for a web dev job because the web dev job was C# and I had been making games in Unity, which was also C#. So I said that would help me transfer over. Did he say W8 contractor? Lucas, yeah, W8 contractor. That's what you are if you are someone that is getting paid outside of the United States by someone inside the United States. Should I start applying for a job this year or should I apply for masters? Yeah, apply for jobs. What questions can you ask in regards to financial health of the company? You could ask the burn rate. Burn rate is just how much money they spend every month. You could ask, are you bootstrapped? I mean, self-made, no venture capital. You could also ask, do you have any acquisitions planning or pending? I got hired from a dev job for C# skills in Unity. Yeah, dude. That's a good one. Why aren't you with your female during the 4th of July? She went to the store and then she came back and I think we're going to have some food and go hang out. What's the highest paying tech job? Entrepreneurship? Startup? Highest paying tech job is probably CTO, honestly. But even then, it's whatever you can convince the person that has the money to pay you. Good morning, Jayesh. Good morning to you as well. Oh yeah, I was going to look at this portfolio. Let me pull this up real quick. Shout out to all my people that have me on Alt-Tab. Appreciate you. On the second monitor, appreciate you. On the TV, appreciate you. If you're on the phone, appreciate you. I know it's a holiday, so this means a lot. Would be the best question to ask a company in the interview. It depends. It has to have some. You have to have some sort of area that you're curious about. It's not just a catch-all. What do you do if you're burnt out and it affects your output quality? You gotta take a break. That's it. If you're burnt out, you gotta stop. If you try to work while you're burnt out, your quality's just gonna take a dip. You have to take a break. Oh my, a new course. Go get it right now. Be right back, Mike. I got you on a big screen. I just want a big screen. Good morning from Hong Kong, Chris. Good morning. How long should it take to get a tech job after leaving boot camps? Could be instantaneous, but how long is the boot camp? What do you know? What's your portfolio look like? Could be instant, could be 6 months, could be 8 months. Can you get an entry job out of high school? Yeah, if your portfolio is good enough. You sure? Yeah, you could. For sure. Ben, by the way, this is not working, bro. This is what I see when I try to load. It's not working. I think your server died. Landed my first tech job right out of college. Thanks to the videos, I negotiated my salary 15K higher. Hey, dude, congratulations. Building your own SaaS? SaaS is pretty consistent money. Team second monitor? Hey, appreciate you, dude. Me too on the monitors. I always feel self-taught person is much harder to get an interview. Am I suspicious? Yeah, you're just being in your head about it. You have no way to prove that. Just because you have the degree doesn't mean that you can do the job. Just because you have the degree doesn't mean you can make the company money. Just because you have the degree, you might get an interview. But still. Do you have any videos about how to make a good portfolio? Yeah, dude, I got tons of portfolio videos. Does having a college degree make it easier to get a coding job? It makes it easier to get an interview, maybe, at some companies. Not the job. What's an epic project to make in C++? Make your own game engine. Josh, sent you the link. It's not working. Any more phone-ins? Nah, I'm probably going to go eat some dinner. And go drive around, look at some fireworks, probably. I should make a video for tomorrow because I don't have one made. Normally I make it the day before. Maybe I'll make like a skit or something. Everything's closed. Found the channel. It's a hidden gold mine. Hey, I think so too, man. I wish YouTube would give me some love. One day I'll get to 1 million subs. Maybe. That'd be cool. It doesn't feel real. Like, I just feel... Sometimes I look over at the chat and I'm like, wow, people are here to listen to me. Odd. Okay. Alright, this is the portfolio. It's working now. Happy to catch the live. Have to deal with fam stuff. Happy 4th. Hey, thanks. Have a good one. I know you don't have that over there, but thanks. The data science course directs us to Pluralsight, but which should we prefer? There are so many. Yeah, I didn't used to do that. Hey, Josh, do the skit. I have to make sure places are closed. Is big O notation a typical interview question? It depends on what companies. Fan companies, big companies like Google, yeah, for sure. A lot of prep for back-end interview coding questions. But besides doing projects, how do you prep for front-end interview coding questions? You have to ask. Like, if you apply to a job and they say, all right, we're going to have an interview on this date, you respond, and you don't just say, okay, great, happy to have this interview. You say, okay, great. Is there anything specific that I should prepare for? What kind of concepts will you be asking me in this interview? That's what you say. It was the day the pubs opened. Oh, no. Yeah, it's going to be messy. Can you resume the portfolio review? Wait, what? Resume the portfolio review series, but not live streams. Maybe like highlights of a live stream. Yeah, we could maybe do that. You'll need 1 or 2 million or 2 viral videos to get to. Yeah, I've never had a viral video. I don't know what that means. I just work really hard. I just stay consistent. I'm not the best at anything. I'm not the best developer. I'm not the best YouTuber. I'm not the best actor. I'm not the best at anything I do. I just work really hard and I'm really consistent. And when I fail, I try again and again, because the other option is corporate and no one will hire me. And even if they did, I wouldn't want it. So you guys get it. Let's look at this. We'll look at this portfolio real quick for Ben. So here's the portfolio. Freelance web dev, get in touch. You should just link here. I think that you should take this off. Like, you're just I'm gonna click this button. That's one piece of input, right? Limit the inputs. Don't make me think. That's literally a book for UX. Don't make me think. That's one piece of input here. Oh, view? Okay, I'll click that. You should just take me here first. Let's load the page here. Visit site, that's fine. Because this is actually, you're trying to get clients. So testimonials, this is good. It'd be cool if you could link to this. like have it linked. I'm pretty sure this is up here, right? So you should also make this quote a link. That's good. Services, portfolio, e-commerce, custom. I don't think you need this basically at all. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's check to see if this baby is mobile. I think it's good. Yeah. Does it look like on an or maybe an iPad? Solid. Maybe we can run, let's run, I do this for all the companies that I apply to. I run a lighthouse check on it, and then it gives me something to talk about in the interview. Because no company ever has like a perfect lighthouse rating. So you can be like, oh, I ran some research, I ran a lighthouse report, and I ran a efficiency report on your website and noticed blah, blah, blah. And then you go in, I don't know, look, I'll come back when it's done. But then you go in, you don't need to be 100 to teach at 70. Yeah, same thing. You don't have to be like on chapter 10 to teach chapter 1. The mainstream, wait, what? Why the phone number? Oh, we were taking calls. Why are you telling people how to get a job instead of telling them how to start a small company? Because not everyone wants to do it. Also, if you have no experience and no skills, good luck. I feel like you should have a job first before you just go instantly making your own company. Otherwise, you're going to end up selling me Herbalife or Vima energy drinks or essential oils and an MLM marketing scam, calling yourself an entrepreneur and saying, hey, you want to be your own boss? Come work for me. Like, go get a job first. Figure out what work life is like. Figure out a problem in that work life that you could improve. Like, find some way to add value. Like, work a job, figure out how a business works, communication, different departments, how all that works. Ask your boss, ask your CTO, ask how all this stuff works. If you, I mean, it's not impossible to just do straight out of college into your own thing for sure, but like in general, it's better if you go work a job first. But yeah, I do tell people how to open their own business too. So, new headset, bro. The one that I have over there is not working. Like, it just randomly turns off. Learning math for competitive programming. Why would you ever competitive program? Just like make stuff that matters and sell it, unless you like really enjoy it, I guess. Well, apparently this website actually has an amazing report. Holy crap. Look at this. Look at this. I've never seen this so good. Dude, you got us bamboozled here. 99 performance accessibility, 94 best practices, 100 SEO, 100. Are you serious? Oh, we found one. There's really nothing in here. Background and foreground colors do not have sufficient contrast ratio. We got them. We got them, boys. Ben, you've been found out. You need to... There's not enough contrast. If I was colorblind, I wouldn't be able to see. I don't know, dude. This is really good. I got nothing. This is really solid. I would just make it land here. Remove that extra step of UX. What's the best way a person with low income can learn to code? Freecodecamp.com and the Odin Project. They'll free resources for learning how to do web dev. Free Code Camp is fantastic. I've never seen that. Like 99% of companies don't like, they're like 60, 50, 60. I'm currently an IT administrator at my company, which used to be a startup but was acquired. The parent company uses WePro for that. Should I bail? Yeah. Yeah. Can Free Code Academy get you a job? No website's going to get you a job. You get you a job. Your portfolio shows what you can do, and you sell yourself based on that portfolio and what you can do. And you apply to jobs that you're not qualified for. Because if you think that you could learn to be qualified for it, do it. But Free Code Camp's not going to get you a job. It'll give you the skills so that you can put them together and make something to show that you have value to a company that will also say, oh yeah, he does have value. Let's see what he can do. That's how it works. It's 3 a.m., so I'm going to head out. Have a great 4th. Hey, thanks, dude. Appreciate the donations. Yeah. Don't remove the jumbo. Try to introduce yourself. I don't know. You're adding more UX, dude. For clients, they just want to see what you can do. Military or AM PM? I'd take 24-hour military time. If someone's been fired from his previous job, should it mention in the interview? Hell no. Absolutely. Never say you've been fired. Never say you've been let go. Just say I'm moving on to another opportunity. Looking for more opportunity. Still trying to grow. Would you still do boot camps after the free code camp? It depends on the person. Some people make it through free code camp and they're like, oh, great, dude. This is fantastic. I know what to do. I know what to make. I made some stuff and I'm applying to jobs. I got a job. If some people are like, I can't do this. I need someone to ask. I need someone to immediately talk to every day. I need that push. I need that shove. I need that accountability. You know, I need to be shown exactly what to do every day and have a human contact. Then yeah, boot camps. That's what I did. I couldn't do it the freeway. Happy 4th. Keep being you. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. What if I actually like my corporate job? More power to you, I guess. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, if you were a kid, would you say to yourself, this is what I want to do right now? Like, you should either be doing one of two things in life. Figuring out what you want to do or doing that thing. Never settle. But it's really hard to figure out what you want to do and how to monetize that, number one. That's the hardest thing in life. Figuring out what you want. Most of the time, you think you want something and then you don't want it. Like me with code. Sometimes it just pops out. Flatiron seems cool. Flatiron is okay. Their ISA sucks. It's trash. But the curriculum's good. It's for PlayStation. It's pretty relaxed. That's cool. What about Hack Reactor? No guarantee. Hack Reactor is not Hack Reactor. Hack Reactor is Galvanize. Galvanize bought Hack Reactor. They just kept the name Hack Reactor for SEO because that's what everyone knows. How to become a game dev entrepreneur? Probably start with Unity or Unreal Engine and then try to post little games on Steam or... The hardest part of game dev entrepreneurship is marketing anyways. You can have the best game ever and nobody plays it. More corporate cringe anytime soon? Yeah, maybe I could do that tomorrow. How can I negotiate a higher salary when I need to renew my contract? I mean, if it's a renew contract, it doesn't sound like much of a negotiation. You just say, this is what I want. It's like you're never going to get a big raise. You're not going to get a 20% raise. You're going to get a 20% higher paying new job. That's what's going to happen. I've done YouTube for a whole month. This is my alt, my YouTube and legendary. I'm studying cybersecurity. Hey, thanks, dude. Ed the Legendary. Let's look. Seven subs. Why you should learn touch typing. That's dope. Dude, you have a lot of views on that, on those two. Casting an imprint of wood out of aluminum. That's cool. My first Enter the Gungeon gameplay. That's cool. Thanks for the donation, man. You guys can go check it out if you want. Ever seen the work of Mike? He calls out the BS on LinkedIn. I used to call out the BS on LinkedIn, and then LinkedIn banned me. Do you still do front-end dev? I don't do dev. I do YouTube. I like this. I think doing career advice and entrepreneurship advice and brand building advice is like way more fun for me. How do you ask for more salary politely? You're never gonna, if you ask politely, they're just gonna say no. You have to have, usually it helps to have leverage, but when you ask for salary raise, you generally have no leverage other than, okay, I guess that's fine. Because what else are you gonna do? You're gonna get a new job. If they say no to your raise request, what are you gonna do? But to be honest, how you do it, if you really wanna get a raise, you go in there with a notepad or clipboard with a list of everything that you've done that has added value to the company. And that's really hard to quantify. It's really hard because you're just a dev. You're just doing tickets. You don't know if that ticket added $100,000 to the bottom line. You don't know. How much money can you expect as a web dev freelancer? Really depends on how much you charge. Why is PHP a meme? It's not. I like PHP. I think it's great. Did I miss anything? So pretty much all boot camps are crap? No. Just make sure it has a decent guarantee. If the boot camp doesn't have a guarantee, don't go. 10 ab wheel roll. I would do it next stream. I'm like dead. How to be J Fluke series? Sure. Why don't you do a video on LinkedIn anymore? I got banned from LinkedIn, so I use someone else's account because I'm not allowed to have my own account. I made a second account. I made a second account with no memes on LinkedIn, and they banned me again. Because once you get banned on LinkedIn once, you're banned forever. You're banned for life. There will never be another Josh Fluke. In fact, I made my company page under my personal account that I got banned from, and so now there's a Grind Reel official company out there on LinkedIn that I can no longer be a part of. They're like, how do people land jobs at Google and YouTube? Just apply. You apply with a good portfolio. Think before you sleep. Recommended watching your videos. I don't know. I don't have any thoughts. Learn how to work around HR departments and corporations. Yeah, I mean, you got to get around HR departments. It's like they treat you like toddlers. Why did you get banned? I made myself the CEO of Google and Facebook and Amazon and Apple all at the same time. And then I said, is anyone looking for a job? And all these people didn't realize that it was a joke, and they reported me when they got mad. What sucks about Flatiron's ISA? Sure. So Flatiron's like income share agreement, which is what ISA means. Flatiron says if you get a job making $40,000, if you get a job making $40,000 or more, you have to pay us back 10% of what you make every year. But they don't specify any job. So $40,000 at any job. So if you go to Flatiron and you learn how to code, and then you get a job at a car dealership making $40,000, you still have to pay them back. Like if you go get a job at Uber and you make $40,000 as a driver, you still have to pay Flatiron back. If you get any job after going to Flatiron that makes $40,000 or more, you still have to pay Flatiron back. It's not good. Like I compare it to Lambdas because Lambdas is $50,000, and you have to get a tech job making $50,000 or more. So not only is it you have to be making more money, which is good for you, you have to be doing the job they trained you to do, or you don't pay them back. That's my problem with Flatiron's ISA. The curriculum is fine. They're more of a Rails bootcamp though. How much money is good for a junior dev? Probably like 50K in the US. Do you think 500 is enough for a brochure site? For like as like freelance, or how to get better at technical interviews? It depends like what specialty. What's a realistic expectation for a yearly raise as a junior dev? Probably about 3 to 4%, which is literally inflation. Your rent's gonna go up 3%. Cost of food's gonna go up 3%. You're really not getting a raise. You're just breaking even every year. So think about that. If you want a raise, go get a job. Is it just me? Did you get chubby? I've been lifting hard, trying to put on some muscle. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm chub though. I've been chubby. This is not chub. I can still see my abs. I can still see my toes, most importantly. And beyond that, most importantly, I can still see the goods when I look down. Okay, when you look down and you can't see the goods anymore, then it's time to stop eating food. Chester back. This chest today. Oh, I thought ISA was a computer architecture acronym. Sure. I think for a brochure site, I don't know. It depends on the budget of the company. You need to ask: is 500 enough? I don't know. What if their budget was 2,000, and you didn't ask that question, and then you say, "All right, I'll do it for $500," and they were expecting to pay you $2,000. That's why you don't put your number out there first, especially with freelance. You always want to say, "Oh, what's your budget for the position?" And they say $3,000 to $5,000, and you're about to be like, "I'd do it for $750." Yeah, it'll cost you $750, and they're gonna be in the back of their mind. They're gonna be like, "I was about to pay this dude $3,000. You just missed out." How likely is someone from the US to get a remote job from a US-based company? Pretty likely. You can do it as a contractor. I left the software job after 7 months, and now it's hard to get any jobs advice. It's hard for everyone to get jobs right now. You're not alone. Okay, so it's been 2 hours. I think this has been super valuable. I am going to probably go outside, look at some fireworks. But thank you for being here. Pentest side hustle ideas? It's more of a contracting gig. But I think that's it for now. Do a review of Attain You. It's full stack development with no upfront cost. Do a review. I don't know. If they paid me, I'd do a review of it. Like, people say do a review of this bootcamp or do a review of that bootcamp, do a review of this or that. Like, I don't want to give people free advertising, basically. Honestly, that's where I'm at right now. Like, if you want me to review your thing on my channel, you have to pay for that. That's where we're at. That's what YouTubers do. People, that's, you know, like, it's where it's free advertising. Advertising is money. I'm not just going to go drive a bunch of traffic to that company or that product or that service if I don't get anything from it, unless I really care about it. And honestly, I don't really care about it. So. That sounds douchey, but you get it. Okay, but I guess that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you think it's valuable. Okay, I'm out. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna leave you with some chill music, maybe, possibly. Let me. How many taxes I need to pay? I'm feeling so frustrated. Oof. Sarah, the instrumentalist. Oh God, so loud. Rip. All right, bye guys, have a good one. See you later. Happy 4th of July. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. I'm out.